Okay, good. Hey. So, this is for people who are new to the game. No, there is I wanted to tell you my character doesn't look like this. It's actually a dog wearing a mask. This mask is from the beta. Like if you were a beta user, you get 3 masks. And so because I'm a dog, the mask looks really big on me compared to like a human or even a rock creature. Like they look very different. That's why you see some people like who are like a panda or something, and they put on like that. It's kind of like it's a bird mask, and it looks huge, like super huge. So I wanted to tell you what to look for when you're playing this game. First off, the most important thing to know are icons. The yellow icons are there's a merchant who has like a bag, and if you see over there, there's a bag on the mini map. This bag is for tier items, for leveling up, like your weapons and stuff. You can also sell things. Like I can't sell legendary weapons, so I go to the merchant. Sometimes you can trade them in the trade market, which is for everybody. The trade market is for the
Of
community.
course I can help. Keep your
So
eyes moving.
the trademark is for people who want to sell something. Like if you wanted a scythe, or if you wanted a great sword or something, it tells you. And these are too low of a level. You can be more specific. You could search for something more specific. It just tells you a listing. When you click on R2, you can see your list. This is the things I'm selling. You can always change the number, which is really nice. You have to use your analog stick down and then click the enter number thing. It's very, very like annoying changing the numbers around, but sometimes you have to. Broker sale means when somebody buys something, this is where you get your gold. So that's really important. It will always have different. So if you wanted to buy something with gold, you could get it here. I'm going to say gold is hard. Gold is an end game is really important when leveling up your character. Um, you're gonna get at a point where you're gonna get a tier 9 weapon. A tier 9 weapon, if you max it out, can become a tier 12. When you look at my arm, my thing, it glows because I put it to a plus 9. You don't want to do a plus 12 unless it's an end game thing and it's really, really good. Because there's this scroll you need to do, and it's a blue scroll. I always forget names of things, so I just don't remember the name, but in the trade market, it's blue, and it costs about 800 gold for the minimum price. When you use it, you can actually, it resets your thing to become higher. And you choose which stats you want to keep and which ones to roll away. So you can make a plus 9 and then make it a plus 12. And when you do that, the weapon itself doesn't glow blue, it glows red. So that's when you see a red glowing icon, is when it's tier 12. If it goes any higher, I don't know. I have not done higher than that. Here's your bank.
Care for cards later?
Um, the bank is easy. Parcel post means that you can send that's how Vanguard gives you things, but it also is a way that you can send stuff to people as well. But it's kind of iffy, and it requires like levels. I know it doesn't seem like it, and some people might disagree, but I had my friend try to send me something, and it was like, you're too low of a level. Then I became higher. Then it said I still couldn't activate it. So the post is kind of iffy. When it comes to extend inventory, there is a limit. You can extend your bank by buying pets. The only problem is if you want to extended buying pets inventory, or you could go into the bank, to the store and buy an extended bank thing, which it's literally like an extra column. It looks like you only have 72 or 88 or whatever the max is for the bank, but then you go to the next column and then you have 78 more. So it's like you can buy extra bank materials, so like extra slots for banking. I
Fortune's got us covered.
I put it for things that I would want to use later on for another account, because the bank is, it saves it to the server. So if you're in a specific server, and you make a new account, you can literally go into the bank automatically and get anything from the bank on your other account. So if you found a weapon, if you wanted to be a brawler on another character, and you thought that this would be a good weapon when you go later in the game, because you feel like you're not going to get a good weapon like this, you can put it in the bank, and then when you go into the bank, you could pick it up. It's red because I can't use this weapon. I got it from a dungeon. You can also disassemble, you can destroy it, which I don't like doing. You could sell it. Sometimes you can't sell things at the trade market, or you can disassemble it, which you'll get materials by doing so. Another great key to know about this, so yeah, and these are the two event masks. Because I'm not using it, I threw them in there. If I wanted to, because I'm not using this one, these two, I can put it in this. These things, enchantments, I can also put it in here if I needed maybe like a very specific thing, because some of these you don't get. Like, I wanted an aggro, and it took me until I was like a level 40 to get an aggro enchantment, and that was just it was silly for my tank. So you can also go into the trade market to get one. They're not, I mean, they are kind of expensive, but selling them, they're not really expensive. So you can also get people like your friends to send it to you, post it to you, whatever. This is very important for your quests. Sometimes you'll have to, it's the book icon, if you see. You'll have to, like, this was for a dungeon. I had to throw, it looks like a liquid. It's called a liquid key, but it actually is a bomb. You're going to see lots of icons that look similar, but they're usually a bomb. And you have to use it for the quest involved. So sometimes you can use your R3 ability, not on here, but in regular, and you could put it there. I always, when I'm traveling, put everything I can when I mine or something here in my bank, just because in the end game, crafting is like a green question mark. And those you can or can't do. It depends on what you want. And I always put chests, and I can also put these as well because they can help my other, I can always go onto another account and use these as well. So it's really, really nice to have that capability of going to the bank, and it doesn't really feel like you're playing a new character if you're in the same server, kind of thing. Some people will have to go to a different server just because they have friends at that server and they want to play with them. That's totally fine and dandy. Like, you can totally do that. Everybody has a different kind of icon. The one, if you see on the mini map, it shows like an eagle. That's your Pegasus. That's how you flight. If you're elite status, this will be for every character that you have. Every single character, every server, every person that you make, you can use this. The village atlas is very important. You want to use your R3 shortcut ability to put it on the regular menu. I have it in this. That's why it's right here. See? This thing is that. So this is where you could put your potions and stuff like that. But I put my atlas there. It's exactly what the Pegasus does, except I don't need to see Pegasus. I don't have to go and run to Pegasus to go to another place. I can literally pick up this book and travel anywhere I want. This one is this one's easy to put on. You just use your R3 ability, and you can instantly, when you make a character who's a level 1, you use R3, you put it on the L3. Even though it looks like it's locked, it's still in that. You'll see it when you actually get out of it. You will be able to use this horse. I think it's locked because it's saying you're not going to have this forever. When you don't have elite status, you're never going to get this. You also get these. You can get them every single day. It's kind of iffy when it comes to... I've had people say that when it comes to the elite box, it's only every day that you can claim it, or when you first claim it, then the next day, the same time, you could claim it again. And it's only for one account. It's not for all your accounts. So you choose which account you want to get this icon for. This is very important to have when you're in endgame mostly. I never use it. It's supposed to extend a lot of things, increase your power, restore your MP mostly is the most important thing, because in endgame you need to use your MP, and if you have no MP, for a tank that means you cannot guard. That's horrible. For a healer, that means you cannot heal. MP is so important. So I'm kind of in a weird place right now, but you see this icon that looks yellow? This was a quest. When you don't understand where you're going, you can go into your quest log. When you go into your quest log, you go into story quest. You go and click on this, and then you click display. When you click it, it's supposed to show you. This place says it's not available to show you, meaning it's in a teleport, or it's in a different room. Those ones are annoying to find. Sometimes they're in an actual dungeon itself. If you've completed a chapter, a full chapter, it will tell you to do a 5-man or a 5-player dungeon. When you do that 5-player dungeon, you get these quests, but the problem is nobody else can see that you have that quest except yourself. I had to do a dungeon yesterday, and I was telling people to wait, which you can instantly do by holding this button right here and going to quick chat, and when you click on wait, it will say please wait up so you don't have to type it, or if you needed a heal, you can actually ask for it while having this icon, or attack, get ready, hello, greetings, stuff like that. It's a way for you, if you don't have a keyboard or you're horrible at writing, to write something. Okay, I'm gonna help this guy. I hope I'm in Cutthroat. I don't know. Let me see. No, I'm not in Cutthroat. So let me show you what the atlas that I talked about does. So I go here. I go over here because that's where I'm at. And I teleport. Somebody just wrote they need to be resurrected. I am a mystic. I have the capability of resurrecting somebody. I think. I don't know. I feel like I can resurrect people. So, he said he's right next to the Pegasus icon, which you teleport to. And I'm not seeing him. Well, maybe he got resurrected. Yep. Well, whatever. I this is my resurrection icon thing. I come over here and I click my... You can always change your skills. So, that was a waste of time. So, this is another town. Pegasus are always in towns. So, the Atlas is always in towns. That green, that purple swirly thing is a dungeon. That dungeon is super hard for somebody, even if they're a 65. They have to have great gear. So, there, you just have to remember the icons, the Bagme Merchant, the bank is the key, and these other ones are specific area. These are exclusive things, special stores that have potions, specialty stores. So just remember, specialty stores have this kind of looking icon on them, or they just say special store on them, you know. This one, this merch usually has gear.
Step by step.
Yeah, but it's hardcore gear. And you need if you look at the price, you need those materials, and they're for quests that you do at like end game stuff. And you constantly have to do those quests to even get these items. These look good for me, but when you do end game and all the missions you do, this could look horrible. So, if you see these icons, they're very exclusive endgame stuff. So you don't have to worry about it. And trying to get them is just silly. The red icon is your teleport. The green one is your restoring, but you have to pay gold for it. But also teleportation, you have to pay. So if I did not have the Atlas and I needed to go somewhere, I could click, because I'm over here, I can click to go this way. It also, if I had this orange thing, or regional dungeons, I call them. What a regional dungeon, what that means to me is it looks like a dungeon, but but they spawn enemies all the time. In a regular dungeon, you kill them, they're dead. I mean, only if you're like fighting a boss that summons monsters, that's totally different. But I'm saying, like, you don't want to attack things in these regional dungeons because they will spawn back, and sometimes they spawn faster than you can kill them. So it's better to run away. See, if you look at the icon, it looks like it's close to this orange thing. The orange thing is actually a regional dungeon. And when I clicked on it, it shows the question mark here. What you want to do is, before you even go into a dungeon, see if you can click on it. See if you can see the dungeon itself. And I click on the red to go down, and I push the blue to go up. So this is how you navigate, and the mini map is so important. This one is an elevator, and it glitches. This dungeon has a glitch, and it apparently goes to all three. There's 4 different places, like the main area that I showed you here. You have to use this elevator. Well, the elevator somehow doesn't remember to go up. It only goes to the 3 levels instead of the 4th one, which is the main, like, to leave. So what I do is I kind of leave the area and then come back, and I just enter it again, and I'm able to complete it by doing that. Not all of them do that. It seems like there's only 2 dungeons that I've seen that have an elevator, and this one is the worst one that has the elevator. This one looks like it might be for the dungeon, but it's actually separated. So you have to look at these kind of things. The most important thing that I got to tell you is each place has a specific character that you talk to for the story plots. This one has a god, this one has Freya, and this one has like a demon character guy. I forget his name. I don't care about their names, really. Freya's just so annoying I remember her name. And the goddess, I forgot her name. When you go to these places, she's gonna be right here in the middle. Wait. Yeah, she's right here. So it's backwards. That's why I said wait. What happens is this is where you're going to spawn in the flight manager. You're going to run straight here. There's going to be a statue. There's going to be a woman. You click on her, it will say, do you want to teleport? You say yes. And this goddess will have a quest for you. She only has like 2 quests, so it's kind of like you don't have to worry about her, the goddess. This one, Freya, she is a horrible, horrible person who keeps on giving you quests. Now, if you look here, they say flight, flight, but you usually spawn right here. Okay? When you spawn, you run over here. There's a guy who says teleport. You go inside this area. Freya is in the super back area. Do not go to the console hall. There's nothing in the console hall. Maybe there will be later on, but for the right now, there's nothing for the console hall. But for Freya, Freya's in the back. The problem is the quest will not show you. Only the first time you do this will it show you, because the question is right here at the teleport guy. But because it's inside of a building, it's not going to show you a question mark. You'll have to just, if you do not see it, if you go in your quest log and it says meet Freya, just know you have to go to the headquarters right here. I just called this Freya's place because literally that's all you can remember when you play this is Freya. She will do stupid things where you're doing this. These 2 things will have question marks. You finish it and then it shows nothing. And you're like, am I done with this? You go to Freya. When you see this part or this part, you don't have to do them both at the same time. I usually do this part. I did this one and then I went to Freya. She activated, I talked to her, she said thank you, go over there again. You do other quests over here. They're all different. You go back to her again. You go back here. It's almost like 3 to 4 times you just go to Freya. But it won't tell you to go to Freya, only if you go in your chat log. Then when you go later in the game and you get higher, you'll be over here. So when you're stuck and there is nothing on here, when it doesn't give you any question marks anymore, you go to these 3 areas and here. And this guy is right here. You see this red? It's really simple and easy. And he's right here. It's called TERA Command Center. There's a girl. You talk to a girl. She's really big. They call her a rock woman. I never call her. She looks like a tree person to me because of her legs. And when you click on her, it says teleport. I'm telling you, when you see a teleportation device, not this one, but it looks exactly like this, but it looks blue. What you want to do, hardcore, is click on it and see if it actually has a quest. Like you click on it, and if it says 5 people, do not get out of it. You don't even have to go in it. You're not going to click on it and you're instantly going to join something. It doesn't work like that. You have to click it like 3 or 2 times to actually get into something. So if it doesn't tell you anything, if it just says a name, it's part of the quest, okay? This is very important because if people don't know what the fuck they're doing, you know, if they don't understand, if they saw it and they clicked on it and they're like, oh, well, I can do this later. Remember, this plays, it's inside of something, so it will not show a question mark. And to go back, sometimes it won't even show you where it is on the map. Because it's supposed to hint, be a hidden teleport that you were supposed to find when you were doing the regular quest. So when you see one of these that have a blue laser kind of, it's very dark blue, then you just have to click on it. Like, it's very, very important. When I first did it, I saw some and I just was like, oh, I don't want to do a dungeon right now. Not, some of them are not dungeons. Some of them are just quests. And they're very easy quests because you're doing it solo. To be very strong in the game, you gotta remember, you have to do your vanguards. Vanguard quests are very important. There's special weapons that you get when you kill enemies that are green. When they have a green exclamation mark on them, they mean that that's a vanguard. If it's red, it's part of the main quest or the quest log. Sometimes they mix and match. Sometimes it says red, but because you clicked on it, it was also a green, and then you need to kill 25 or 10 of these enemies so that it would disappear off the mini-map. When you complete it, you get experience for it. But the most important thing is when you kill enemies, they drop these chests that have like a blue like thing popping out of them. Just like the teleport had that light coming out of that. It's a dark blue chest. You pick it up. Nobody can pick it up for you. You have to pick it up yourself or have a loot pet to pick it up for you. Which, remember, feed your pet or they will not pick stuff up. This is very important. You have to do your daily quests so that you get these diamonds. Any diamonds you want to sell to the merchant, you will get tons of gold. Just remember, they are for selling to get tons and tons and tons of gold. The green one that you don't see is like an emerald that has 1,000 gold. You can earn this. You can earn them in higher levels. I mean, it's amazing. So it's very, very fun to like earn gold. When you're doing main quests, what you gotta remember is these people, even though it doesn't show an icon on them,
child.
they might have these icons that are yellow exclamation marks. Yellow exclamation marks are side quests. Side quests only give you gold. And they're kind of annoying if you just want to level up. If you, at the end of the day, want to do everything, cool, that's fine. I bet there's feats that you can get by doing this. But if you just want to level up, you want to do only the red exclamation marks. Green is at end game, and that means it's a daily thing where it's kind of like you can do or not do.
Don't exhaust yourself.
And so, you know, I don't know. It's if you want to do a specific quest, if you click on it, it will show it on the icon, and you can't really distinguish. Only if you go on the chat log, go into directive and click on, like, go to that, display that specific mission, which is very, very annoying. So what I do, so I don't have a lot of cluster, is I do the main quest. And then I only have one thing that says red question mark. I go to that red question mark. And if I activate a vanguard, I kill the enemies and then I get out of that area so I don't accidentally have my tank accidentally kill them, you know, because I can summon enemies and not enemies but like allies. I can summon allies, and I have 3 of them because I'm a mystic. But I don't know. It's just you gotta know how to read the map. So just remember the blue lettering are towns. That's really important. The yellow ones are kind of the areas. You can click in the middle section to see the yellow, to see the whole area of what it's called. This is another teleportation thing. So even if you're too high of a level and it's not in your instant dungeon queue thing, you can go to these places in your map and find these squiggly blue line things, and those are actually the dungeons, and you can enter it by yourself. I'm not sure if you had somebody in your group and you went to this location and you clicked on it to go and teleport into the dungeon, they would follow you. I don't know if it works like that. I've never tried it. So it's very simple and easy. If you fully complete a quest, when you look at your chat log, it will always say you need to do this dungeon. When you do the dungeon, it will have this quest. Now, if you're like me and didn't know about it, you just did the dungeon, and then you had to go back to that same dungeon to finish that quest to actually see the cutscene. It is so stupid. So I just think doing the regular quest, and then at the end when it says do a dungeon, do a dungeon. But the problem is you level up so high that you can actually miss dungeons by doing so. So it really doesn't matter if you're following the quests. It will make you go to that direct dungeon. And it will say click on the dungeon, but you can also click on instant. So it's fine. It's fine to do that. When you get crafting material, just remember, put it in the bank. You can use it later on, like I showed you. What I put in my bank, I wanted to show you when it comes to characters. I already talked about how to get your weapon is doing Vanguards, your avatar weapons. If you look at my inventory for my weapon, you'll see that some of them, this says it's a better weapon, but the thing about it is this says +9. That means I had to level this weapon up. Now it might see this one has a higher level, but if you look at their substats, it shows that this one has extra because I leveled it up. And it does increase damage, increase this, increase that. Which this one will show the limit of that. You know, it doesn't have the +2, +3, +4 because I didn't have that. You go into here, into equipment and removal of crystals. And when you do that, you can get these kind of booster uppers. If you die, it has the ability to lose it. But you can also gain them really easy by just doing quests or doing missions or even buying it from merchants. Like it's a specific merchant who sells them. It's like the circle thing that I told you where I forgot the name, but it looks like like two 8s put together. It's very circularly. It was the one that I showed you with the weapons and stuff. You can also get these crystal icons, even though I never call them crystals. It says crystal, but whenever I think of crystal, I think of actual the diamonds and the jewels that you get that you have to sell. So each one has its different thing. It also tells you the weapon level. That's very, very important to tell you which one's high, which one's low. If it says 55, that has a higher percentage than a 32. I know that sounds like no duh, but people just don't remember this. When you look at it, this one has movement speed, this one has an MP game, which is very important for me. There's also attack, because this is a weapon. There's no defensive thing for a weapon because it's a weapon. So it has critical chance and stuff like that. It's very important to do because it just makes it easier for you to play and to level. When it comes to this one, when you equipped crystals, I throw this one down, and it tells me that I have reduced 6.2. Then I have a 5, then I have 6.2, and then I have HP gain, and I want to just have reduced damage from the monster, so I put 4 of them. That's what you have to do. When it comes to weapons and enchantments, as I showed, because this is the only one I have, because it's a max thing, there's these tiers, and it will tell you which tier to use. there's a feedstock. So you want to, if it says tier 2 feedstock, you can use tier 2 uh, alkahest, and you can use the third one or the fourth one. You really want to say, like, do that level. What's very important is when you're leveling up, it's going to be very low tier. So you want to use it because guess what? When you get higher, it's going to be another level. Guess what you didn't use? Your tier 1. So you could always level up your weapon. Only at the end game does it come harder to level it up. Like if it said tier 9, tier 9 is hard to level up. It's hard to get the materials. I mean, you can do them by quest, you can do them like dungeons, but I'm just saying compared to other things, you also get them by completing vanguards, killing just random enemies. Like, it's very easy to get this, except when it gets higher. It's just a little bit harder to do. I mean, if you constantly play at it, yes, you'll get tons of them. But if you just became a tier 9, it's really, 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 really tricky. So, because mine is a max plus 9, it shows that my weapon is purple. And if you had a tier 9 and you used a purple scroll, you can level it up to be a tier 12 thing, and it won't be a dark blue, it will actually be a red. So everybody who looks at it be like you leveled it up 12 times. And it just makes it stronger, but you really want to be careful because it has to be a really good weapon and to do it at 12, because you have to use this scroll that usually costs about 800 minimum in the trade market. So you just have to be super duper careful. So but that's mostly end game when it comes to becoming red. You will always be blue. Try to always make it blue. And it doesn't matter if it's, I literally make plus 9 and then I get something better and I switch it out and I sell it. You cannot sell a legendary one. You can only do, like, you can't trade it. You can't, like, discard it. You can't dismantle a legendary. The only way you can do something by that is you go over to the bag icon and you go to a person and you go, hey, I want to sell that to the merchant.
Such refinement.
Thanks. And you also get tiers by, if you want to buy them, you just earn them all the time, so you don't really need to buy them. If I wanted to sell it, it tells me the sell price for this is one gold, stuff like that, if I wanted to sell it. But there are things that I wanted to sell that were legendary, or dismantle, and you can't dismantle legendaries. So you have to sell them regularly to a merchant, or you discard them, but then you won't get any money for it. So I sell it. And a lot of things you can't even do. Like, I wanted to go to the banker and trade some of these weapons, and then it says you cannot trade this weapon, even though I've never used it before. It's not even my level. So I go over here, like I told you, I click on it. I want to sell this bow and arrow, and then it says it says total price, but that isn't the total price. You have to go scroll down and you have to enter your specific number. I don't know why it was glitched, because when last week it actually told me numbers, but it's not telling me any numbers. So I don't get it. Then you come over here. See, all of them seem to say nothing. I don't know. Some of them you can't sell. because you clicked on it. Some of them you can sell. So you just write whatever number you want for these. Usually they're like 50 to 100. It just depends. Like, you could put whatever number you want. It's just people aren't going to buy something that's crazy expensive. I just don't know why it doesn't show the regular value. Just to, I usually like to see the regular value to see if I want to sell it or not. So, well, I'm going to try to sell this one. I'm going to put an enter this. I'm going to say, I'll put 88. Oh, that is not what I meant to do. I'll put 50. So now it's 50 gold, and then I put it out there and I go, here you go. I can't use it, so why not sell it, And it's nice. And it's cheap, If you have the gold, you can always buy something. You could sell stuff. That's how you get gold, is by selling. Also, you gotta remember skills. Skills and glyphs. Glyphs are very important. You gotta know which skill you want. You can always, for this mystic, I had to switch tons. This is a shortcut to switch your things. Like, if I really wanted this to be somewhere else, I click my R3, and then I could put it anywhere I want. But it's right here. So you can move all your abilities around. But you gotta remember where the abilities are, what the icon looks like, and how to use it properly. And that could be a problem. You can also... So, what I did was, this one has MP. This means I call it pooping out, but I drop an MP ball so I can heal my MP, which is very important when I need to use healing for other people. The most important thing about a mystic that people don't realize is when you're holding a button, it activates it most of the time. So if I wanted to, say, heal somebody, which I'm trying to find the heal icon. I think I already passed it. There it is. This is healing people. You have to hold the button. And I also put glyphs on it so that it would activate it longer distance. Okay, I'll click on it. It does longer range so that I could be farther away. And I also can increase the number of lock-on targets by 2. So I can have more people that I can heal. Holding the button, so you have to put it on a place that you can hold it. You can't put it on L3, because how can you hold the button and then click on it again? You have to think of a button that you can hold and click. So I put it on I hold my L1 button, and then I hold my R1. So I'm constantly holding my L1 to activate it for my character, if you see it. So here it is. And when I hold my R2 ability, you hold that button, everybody becomes this green. Then you click on it again, and it will heal them. Do not click anything else, or it won't work. The only problem I have sometimes is, if you look right next to it, is my R1. That's healing. That's a cleanser. It's not a healing, it's a cleanse. So if somebody has purple, which is poison, if somebody is cursed, if somebody has some kind of affliction from a boss, which you'll know, people will know when they're afflicted when they have purple. You cannot heal a person if they're purple. You have to cleanse them first. So you have to do what the same as healing. And it looks the same as healing. But if you have the sound up, it will go like a little dusty... I know I can't make that noise, but it sounds like a fairy or something compared to the regular healing. Um, and it looks the same. Um, the thing about it is to know if somebody's poisoned is you can look on the side to look at their health bar, which mine is red, and it becomes purple, or you can actually look at the actual person themselves. Each person, if they're on your team, has a health bar, and that health bar is usually dark blue. When that dark blue becomes a light green, that means they're poisoned when they are light green. So you hold that icon for cleansing. If you see my R1, well, I'm holding my L1 so that you can see my R1, you know. And that one is cleansing people. To summon people, they are your thralls. And if you want to see what thralls look like, these are your thralls. This is a poison. I like the poison. It does the same thing. You have to hold it to activate it. I mean, it's not a poison, but it's like a curse. But the curse can actually make him not move. It also does damage. Like, I don't know why it does it doesn't say that he doesn't move, but it just, the longer you hold the button, the more you can do it. I like to use this on the boss because there's a limitation on the capability I can do when it comes to attacks. So I do that sometimes, and I have to hold it to activate it. The corrosive, there's this one also that looks really weird. It's green as well. Let me see. This one, Contagion, this one hurts him as well. And it's really, really nice. And it's like this green, a purple mist on him. I put a glyph on this because if I go down, I want to have a shorter time of waiting for a cooldown for this to activate again, because I don't want to go down and then wait like 10 seconds and then I'm dead. Like, so that was really important for me. I put it on this because these thralls are important for your character. I put duration lower, so when I'm casting it, it's less time to activate it. Like, there's, when you activate a monster, they're like summoning pets. This one is a defensive one. He is your tank. He will aggro. The only problem is he doesn't automatically aggro. If you're running away, he'll follow you. You have to attack the enemy, and the enemy has to attack him for him to actually stay with that enemy. But if you ran away, he's gonna follow you because he wants to be with you. He was there for you. They're supposed to be these icons. They look like forward, backward, follower, command to attack. Those things, they're supposed to work. I've tried it and it really, I don't know. I mean, if you want to, you can actually, if you're having such a big problem, you can use your L3 ability to shortcut it so you can actually be like, when you summon that monster, you could click that button so it will always attack, so you won't have to worry about attacking the enemy. But all I do is attack the enemy with my regular R2 ability, which is like shooting. And that's it. This is my way of dodging. I wanted to make it go faster so I can activate it faster because I have to wait 3 seconds. And it's a kind of a short distance, so I made it so it's a longer distance, and I reduced the time by it, cooldown by it. It's really important. You can resurrect people with that ability. MP is very important, so I reduced that time, as I said. This is very important when you're doing single player things. It's going to give you a chain reaction of this and this. When you activate it, you have to be super close to the boss. Like, not a boss, but like any enemy. Like any enemy, not a boss. Don't do it for a boss because you have to be so close. It looks like It looks like you're throwing wind or something really, really close to you. You don't even look like you're doing anything. You look like you're standing there, like, in the enemy space. You look like a tank almost using this ability. But if you have really good health, you can activate this, and then you activate this, and they will get stunned, or they'll fall down, and they lose tons of health. That's just if you're just playing regular missions. I was going to put a glyph on this one, but then I needed it for the companions, the thralls that I have. Vengeance is I call him my Squirtle because he spits out water, and it's a DPS. It's very squishy, so that's why I put a defensive, so that what I do is I activate my tank character that I told you about. Then I activate this one, so the tank is distracting the enemy while this one is actually attacking the enemy. You can't actually do wrath at the same time. Like, you can only do two at once. And usually when you use wrath, the other ones evaporate. But when you use wrath, it does tons of damage for a very short amount of time. You can actually, if you have better glyphs, you can extend that duration to be longer, but you still have to wait 10 minutes to activate it, which this one takes 20 seconds, and the other one takes like maybe 10. I really don't know. Like, the one that you're always going to be using is going to be, man, I wish this was easier to find the one that I was talking about. Man. I don't know why I'm having problems trying. There he is. Thrall of Protection. Thrall of Protection is like always going to be with you. Like, you're always going to have him. And if you really, really are horrible, like, you really need him to do something, you can put that in your cliffs as well. So he will attack instantly. I don't think anyone would want to put command follow, but attack. But yeah, it's really, really simple and easy, and he really knows how to aggro. All the enemies attack him, and it's just easy. You don't even have to do a lot of things. You can solo a lot of things, except for dungeons. I mean, you can, but it takes forever. And this is your main attack ability. I made it so that I will always be using it because I understand. I use less MP, so I always like to use this one. The thing about this character is it will never gain MP. It will never gain AP when I use my regular R2 ability. Everybody's default R2 is a gaining MP ability. Okay? Healer, the Mystic doesn't have that capability, but it has like 3 different ways to restore MP. The easiest one is just pooping out the MP bottle bubble that I have. So that's pretty much all you need to know when it comes to this game, and just looking at icons and like navigating and knowing where to go. Like, I don't think I've left anything out, and I've really talked about this character way too much on how to play it, because people really, I understand that it's really hard to know that even a hunter's L1 ability, if you hold that button, now I'm saying if you didn't customize your thing, but no, not your L1, your R1, sorry. If you did your R1 ability, if you hold that button, it will start doing this red line, which you could do more damage on the enemy. But it doesn't tell you that, because if you click on R1, if you just tap it, you can shoot out this bow. But if you hold it, you can do more damage to it, but you could also hurt yourself. So it's like, it's kind of like this game doesn't tell you, except if you look at the specific skill, if you hold this this button, it will do this. And some people can't read. Some people have problems reading. You know, I like to just look at a button and activate it, not realizing that, you know, you have to, when healing, you have to hold it. You have to look at everybody. Like, you have to go like this and look at everybody. I know that looks disorienting, but you have to. It's so important to do that. It's so important um, to use these two buttons, the R1, that the icon that I showed you on mine. It's not going to be this thing is not going to look like yours. So my R1 and my R2 right here is for healing and taking away poison, or taking away things to and that's what you need to do to be a good healer in a dungeon. Like, those two buttons are so important. There's also buttons to resurrect. There's also buttons, that's what the cross thing is, for resurrection. There's also buttons for there's even a healing character as well, but I don't understand that healing character. You resurrect this healing person. The character has never really healed, so I never use him. But if you use him properly, you could level that up, and it's really nice. Apparently, I think if you use it more, the higher the level of the skill becomes. But some of them don't have any high level things, so yeah. And then just remember, have an ability to plop out poop MP, because what you have to do is, it's usually square to do a healing thing, and if you click it again, you get MP. Well, I put it on my arrow keys so that I could be like, oh, I don't need healing, I need MP. And so I just click on my MP instead. But it's a chain reaction. Some people say it's not worth it. I think it's very worth it, because I just want MP. I don't want to pick throw down two things when I just want MP. So it's all about what you want to do in the game and how you want to play it. Just remember that this is how I play it, and I feel really good. And my oh, I don't think I told you. Okay, let me go to my bank. I know it sounds like I'm on a tangent. It's really hard to know what people
An honor to see
need and what they don't need. If you click on these things are very important. They give them in Vanguards when you complete things. This is the highest one. I'm taking it. I'm taking one. And this is what you do. You go into your inventory. You go over here and you click on it. When you click on it, it shows you exactly what I'm wearing right now, because this is the highest thing. This is how you get good armor when leveling up. This is not saying that there's better armor out there. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if you need armor, doing Vanguards will give you these tokens, and the tokens, you just need one to get this, and you need accessories, and it just levels you up better, and you just become stronger. And that's how you play this game. So I hope that helps. So let's see. I don't know what to do. Okay, I think I'm done. So I hope this helps anybody, or just, this is supposed to be helping anybody.